What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be bringing you guys some Pirate Rumble action, and we're bringing a bit of an odd team today in the fact that we're going to be exploring a team that I haven't really used that much in Rumble, considering, you know, type teams are typically the more powerful teams that we've seen in Rumble thus far. But today we're exploring another class team, and this is a class team that I personally haven't explored in a very long time, and that is going to be a slasher team. So this is the team that we have here today, and I'm really just excited to just jump into it and see if we can get some really cool wins. And mainly why I'm doing this is because of Kara and Wanda, because I had pulled them during the anniversary Sugo Fest, hadn't really had much of an opportunity to really use them in Pirate Rumble thus far. I did make a regular showcase video for normal content with them, and they are pretty good. So we're going to be using them today in a slasher team. I mean, let's go through them first, and then we'll talk about it in a more general sense. So with Kara and Wanda, their Rumble ability is for both slasher and cerebral characters, giving level 5 health, and every time that they heal up to 3 times, they give cerebral characters level 3 recovery and level 3 attack. So it is a little bit of a shame that this character is more cerebral focused than slasher. But the thing is that cerebral teams in Rumble are very bad. I was trying to figure out something regarding them, and they just don't have a lot of heavy damage dealers, and that's honestly their biggest downfall. So until they get better damage dealers, Cerebral's going to be a terrible team to use in Rumble. But I'm very, very pumped to go ahead and give this character a shot. And then their special ability, 30 CT, which is, you know, about stock standard. They give slasher and cerebral characters level 6 speed, level 6 attack, level 6 defense for 25 seconds. Then they target 3 enemies for 2.5 times their attack. And then when their special is launched, if their HP is 60% or below, cerebral characters get 3.5 times recovery healing. So essentially they heal themselves because they're the only cerebral character that we're using on our team here today. But the fact that the buffs actually activate for all slashers is immense. 25 seconds for speed, attack, and defense level 6 is actually incredible. So even though this character is more focused on the cerebral class for a lot of the additional effects, slashers do still get a lot of really cool effects from this character. Though if this character had all of the buffs for both slasher and cerebral, dude, this team actually might be like high tier meta, to be honest, because this unit is actually pretty incredible when you look at it on paper. It is just a shame that a lot of their effects are for the cerebral class in general. But in terms of damage dealing specials, we're really relying on Odin and also Roger and Newgate. Roger and Newgate obviously is going to be a huge asset to the team because they do that 30% health cut, and they basically guarantee a knockout on 2 enemies, which is crazy, doing damage through defense. Dofi's a nice defensive unit. Borsalino's continual damage and nice buffing effects on a low CT, and Odin's just a really nice unit that can give us a lot of CT increase, and he hits really hard himself. And of course, Kara and Wanda are going to hit really hard themselves as well. So in theory, it sounds pretty good, but obviously the big problem with slasher teams is that they are so focused on Sugo Fest exclusives that they don't really have a lot of space to add a lot of other units, which is why you see we've only got 1 bench unit. Opting to go for Mori here because he does defense down on his special, which I think is going to be a little bit more valuable than someone that would just do normal damage. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and see if we can find some opponents. Alright, so our first opponent is going to be a quick team, and this is a little worrying because the thing that I am most concerned about here is versus Akainu, and because when he does his special, he does like additional damage towards strength enemies, and the fact that we have Odin on our team means that when Akainu launches his special, he's going to hit really hard on that Odin. So ideally, with all of our CT increases, we're able to do a little bit of extra damage, but unfortunately, Odin does have some CT decrease. I actually don't remember who's doing that. I guess it's because we are a strength character. I think it's probably Izo and Okiku that's doing that. So that is a little bit annoying that Odin gets severely debuffed by the opposing team here, so we're really hoping that we can just launch our specials extremely quickly. We do have Roger and Newgate ready to go, so if they hit Akainu, I'm going to be feeling real good. Let's see what happens here. Okay, it didn't hit Akainu, but it did get rid of Izo, Okiku, and Magellan. That is massive, and we knocked out Akainu super quick. I mean, this is just one of the huge benefits of the slasher team, is they are extremely powerful, and they are very fast getting their specials active. And that is amazing damage. Look at that damage, man. Like, that is just absurd. Like, is that allowed? And we got Odin just to finish it off as well. Like, we just absolutely wiped the floor with that team. Like, that is nuts, right? I'm not going to say that slashes are an optimal option, you know, in terms of like a Pirate Rumble team. I don't think they're the best team in the game. In terms of offensive and speed, they might be the best. But the thing is if they don't get those key knockouts, they just straight up lose because you just take too much damage. But what an impressive showing to start things off for the video. So this team came up here, and it seems kind of interesting in the fact that it is, I wouldn't say it's an optimal Dex team, but it's a pretty decent Dex team. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot, and obviously the big concerning factor here is the 8th anniversary Luffy, because anytime we knock something out, he is going to just revive or get at least one res. But of course, the big benefit to us is that we're going to be launching our specials way before they launch theirs. However, they are really bulky. So, you know, Roger and Newgate, even though they do damage through defense and they do the health cut and stuff, so they're probably going to get at least one knockout, which is good. But it's wondering whether or not we're going to be able to tank the hits that they are going to output on our side of the field. If we get our Dofi to launch, which we are going to get, which is great, it gives us a lot of additional defense here for a short period of time. So whenever they do launch a special, we'll be able to tank it, I think, relatively well. We got the Karen Wanda launching, so we're not really doing much damage at the moment. Borsalino coming through, giving us the attack and defense. We really want Roger Newgate to come through. Dogstorm already launching a special is kind of impressive. However, we don't have any quick allies, or quick enemies, should I say, so they can't really launch their special. Brook giving the healing capabilities, which is pretty annoying. So Odin does pretty good damage, but here is where we really want to see the team come through. Okay, so we did get the knockout on both of them, but Luffy did revive himself. Luffy is going to hit really hard, though. This is going to be kind of difficult to deal with here. And the defense just got lowered right before Luffy launched. Oh, that's really rough. Okay, we're barely surviving. We're good. Carrot and Wanda almost had their special up. Borsalino is going to give some more attack and defense, or just attack, sorry. But we really want Roger Newgate to stay alive. If they are able to stay alive for another special, that would be absolutely phenomenal. More defense coming in from Doflamingo is really good to see. Luckily, we knocked out their Doflamingo, because V2 Doflamingo, he hits really hard. He's really annoying to deal with, so really glad that he is out of here. Karen and Wanda are going to come in as well, and they should actually heal themselves too, because of the fact that they're below 60%. And that's fantastic. So they're actually a pretty nice asset for this team, I must admit. Odin's going to come in for pretty good damage, and wow, that's just going to wrap it up straight away. Okay, and then Borsalino. Yeah, so it's just Cat Viper by himself, and that is that. And we also had Roger Newgate ready to go for a secondary special. So even though it was a really annoying Dex team, and you know they are relatively bulky, we were still able to, you know, brute force our way through that team, which is just impressive again to see this team do things that you wouldn't think they're able to do. So good stuff coming in from the slashers. So I do think this is going to be a little bit of a scary one. This is pretty much an optimal Psy Free Spirit team. I mean, you got Wano Law, which is going to debuff our Doflamingo. That's going to be a pain to deal with. Alright, well, let's see what happens, man. I mean, everyone wants to see it. You know, the team's good. You know, you beat a Dex team, you beat a Quick team, but can you beat a Psy team? And honestly, I don't know. Again, it really comes down to how fast we're able to launch our specials, but that's the thing, is that the Psy team also have a really good way of giving themselves CT increase. Wano Law is a massive asset to the Psy team, so it is going to be interesting to see how this team kind of plays out, especially because I'm not expecting Doflamingo to launch his special as quickly as the rest of the team here, which means we're not going to have that really key defensive effect. And here we go with Rebecca just giving additional defense down towards slashes. I completely forgot about that, so that's going to be a huge benefit to them. So taking a lot of damage to start things off. Luckily, Carrot and Wanda will be able to come through, but they got really good defenses on their side, and Yamato is going to pretty much knock out at least 2 of our characters here, so this is going to be really bad. If Roger and Newgate can stay up, I'll have some sort of hope. Okay, luckily Odin somehow survived the hit. That is crazy good. Okay, we knocked out... Who did we knock out? Roger and also Yamato, but their Odin is also ready to go, and Odin is not what we want to deal with here. Okay, so we got another couple knockouts, so we're really close, but Odin is such a problem. Okay, we didn't really get that much action bind. This is super close right now. Sobermaster is not going. Law will probably knock out a couple of our characters here. That is a shame. That is a real big shame. So now we are just hoping that we get our specials when we get them. It's going to be close. It's whoever gets specials first. Sobermask knocked out, and we got the win. Woo! That was a close game. Okay, look. I think, you know, if you played that match 10 times, we probably would have lost more than half of them. So I think this was probably one of the really lucky ones. That's not an optimal matchup for this team at all. But somehow, some way, we pulled out a victory. So we take those. So giving my final thoughts on the Slasher team currently in Pirate Rumble, I think it is actually a pretty solid option. You know, with those very, very key characters, you are able to get some things done. You can take on some relatively meta-based teams. However, as you guys would have seen in that final match against the side team, it was really close, and I don't really think that this is a team that's going to have a lot of success consistently up against those top teams. Even if you're up against a Dex team with a couple of bench units, it's probably not an optimal team to use against that. I would still relegate to using, you know, a strength team to take on the Dex team, or against a side team. I mean, there isn't really too many optimal teams that take on side teams consistently enough, but overall, I was pretty impressed with this team. It was able to do some really good things and actually get through, especially the quick team. It absolutely melted it like a hot knife through butter against that team. But overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. And if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.